Welcome back from the break. It's still Living Dreams and your favorite show host, Peter. We have been talking with Mrs. Ijoma Daramola, who's been sharing with us, you know, taking us on a journey in her world of journalism. I want to take you up on the thoughts before we went on that break.
Yes.
You did say that, you know, your magazine would help to educate and inform, you know, those who are going to be reading the magazine, your readers, on how they would be able to manage their own businesses, start up their own businesses, and also if they are managing other people's businesses, to also be able to do it effectively, and then also dream to have their own businesses. But I want to take you up on that in the sense that how do we create a balance between, you know, having a dream for your own business and managing someone else's business? For instance, because, you know, in our world today, sometimes, you know, like my pastor always says, if one isn't faithful, and the scriptures also tell us, if one isn't faithful in managing someone else's business, God's not going to give you your own. For instance, it's not going to give you your own. Because you see, sometimes people have the mindset or the mentality that, oh, you know, when you work for someone, they use you, they do this, they do that, you know, it's best to have your own. Because if you're going to have your own business anyway, you're also going to employ other people. You're also going to be using other people to achieve your own goals. So how do we create the balance between, you know, managing someone else's business and starting up our own? The desire to start up our own.
First of all, I was going to just ask you that you're going to have to buy a copy of Money and Profits to get this answered. But
yes,
because of this program, you're going to have to buy a copy of this magazine to get some of these answers. But let me say it here that I think what you just said is correct. Absolutely. There should be a balance.
Yes.
Now, if you're working for someone, there's a time where you should serve faithfully.
Yes.
It's also a learning period for you.
Yes.
It's a time for you to build your resources. It's a time for you to gain experience.
Yes.
I make bold to say that if I hadn't worked in all these stations today, perhaps in publishing my magazine, I wouldn't be the publisher I am today.
Yes.
But because I know that I've served faithfully, I've given in my all.
Yes.
I've worked, I've kept the hours, I've paid my dues.
Yes.
So if you're working for somebody,
yes,
you want to learn how to do that to the best of your ability.
Yes.
You want to learn how to give it your all. It's very important because it is what you give that you will also get back.
Yes. And you can't even give what you don't have.
If you don't have it, and then you won't even know how to, expect it from. So let me give you an example. I worked in a station where the MD, one of the TV stations where I worked, was a woman. And this lady, she was so committed that for us who were her staffers and for me as head of news, I found it inspiring that the person, the chief executive of my TV station was a lady, but she would say to us, you should be at work for 8 o'clock, and she'll be there for 7:30.
Wow.
She'll be there for 7:30.
Commitment.
So she led by example.
Wow.
She showed me that, no, I'm not saying do as I say. I'm saying do as I do. And if she said to me, oh, we're going to have a post-mortem at 11 o'clock, she's going to be there by 11.
Wow.
And if for any reason the transmitter was down, and anybody had to spend the night, you'll find her in her office and she'll spread newspaper on her table and she will lie there.
Wow.
Yes, with all the mosquitoes and all. And so you didn't have any excuse for not giving it your all. So that's how a manager should be.
Yeah.
You should give it your all. But then at the end of the day, because nobody wants to, I would say, at the end, we have dreams.
Yes,
we know where we want to go. At the end of the day, when it's time for you to make a move, live in such a way that the person you have served will happily let you go. Will happily say, no, this person has given me so much.
Yes.
You understand? And I'm happy you're going, and I bless you. And then you go.
Yes.
Not live anyhow. Not living, because besides, if
I want to go and start my own.
After you have worked and you just rush off and start something, you don't even have the skills.
Yes.
You don't even know how to go about it. That's why so many businesses even collapse.
They don't last.
They don't grow. Yes. Because people are not even prepared. They jump into it and they jump out. That's why the Igbos have this apprenticeship thing, where you are an apprentice for years.
Yes.
When you would have learned the intricacies of the business, and then as you leave, the person you have served now said, well done.
Commitment to the one that you're working with, the commitment and loyalty, to, like you said, you put in the hours that is required, put in your contributions, your ideas, your creativity. Your whole life is actually spent in carrying out, executing
Absolutely.
the responsibilities that, are expected of you. But
Yes,
I want us to take a shift to the Prophet magazine, the Money and Profits magazine. How do Christians, you see, because Christians set up, a lot of our brethren are watching us from around the world, from UK, from United States, from Asia, they're watching. How do Christians in the present world that we live in set up profitable enterprises? You see, because sometimes we love God so much. We love the Word of God. We want to contribute to our world. We want to make societal changes. We want to be change agents in our world. How do we set up profitable enterprises? Because you find Christians, number one, sometimes they can be impatient. They can become, relentless in the drive to accomplish, certain things that they want to do. They can become, hard, because of the system. Sometimes the system within the field of endeavor could change a person's character, could change a person's personality. You could become something else. And you say, oh, that's the way business is. Or that's the way, if you don't do it this way, you're not just going to, you're not just going to be successful. But what do you have to say about that? How do we, draw the line? How do we set up profitable enterprises?
Well, my advice...
Without becoming non-profit. Because, because Christians love free things. Everything, they want it to be free, but a lot of times those things that we think are free, someone already paid for it. It's just that no one, people may not just come right and say, oh, nothing is free really in this world, because if it's produced, somebody paid for it. Somebody put in time. Somebody put in, somebody was there in the production line to ensure that it came out. If it's a book, somebody had to be at the publishers to make sure that the book went through production. So it's not really free at the end of the day. So how do we set up a profitable enterprise without necessarily shifting into non-profits?
Well, first and foremostly, I'd advise anybody, especially Christians, who want to start their own businesses, not to go and set up a business on a whim. It must be something you have a passion for, something you like.
Don't set up a business on a whim.
Don't say because my friend went to Dubai and she's so. I'm telling you.
You see, somebody is doing it. Let me do it too.
Forget it. I'm cashing in. I'm just going to Dubai. It might not be your thing.
No.
The fact that your friend is successful at selling clothes doesn't mean I will be. Yes. Okay. The fact that I was there in AIT. Man, she's publishing a magazine.
I want to publish
I'm going there. After all, what?
People without a design for their own lives.
You have to find something that you really love doing, something that you feel you have a passion for. Because, the economy is stifling. There's no gainsaying that.
Yes, the economy in our world. We are from another world.
In Nigeria, is not what everybody would want it to be.
Yes.
It leaves a lot to be desired.
Yes.
And so how can you now bridge that? You know that as you're coming into business, know about the business. Get to know as much as possible about it.
Get all the information.
You need so that you don't come into it and ask, this is my salon. I thought I calculated it now.
I thought
okay,
it was going
if 5 people come and do washing and set, and I do 2 retouching. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You must be aware that, there is hardly power.
Yes.
And so you're going to be fueling your generator. And because you're fueling your generator, your profit will not be as much
high.
as then you're going to buy your water because you don't turn on your taps and water is.
Wow.
So after you have calculated all that, then you now decide if you think, you now make up your mind based on the information that you have gathered that you know about this business. You can now make an informed decision, not a decision that is meant on hearsay or how successful because your friend is wearing new clothes or new shoes. Then you think, she must be very successful at what she's doing. This pure water business must be booming, and you go into
comparing yourself with another is not wise.
It's not wise. So that's very important, that you should educate yourself.
Wow.
If whatever business it is you're thinking of going into, get to know as much as possible. Get all the information. Read books, read magazines. We're not a reading people.
And Money magazine is going to give them that.
Yes, they will get all the information. But I mean, there are so many other books that you can read.
So
so many books.
So you must educate yourself. Wow.
Educate yourself.
Wow.
Then when you now eventually decide to go into that business,
Yeah.
you know that you're going in with all the, you have the skills, you have the know-how, you have the knowledge.
Yes.
And then when you set up, I'm sure the business will do well. But when you rush into a business,
Into
you're
a
going to rush
business.
out.
Yeah.
And you know, we're not a very patient people. You go into it and you know, most business will take a while to
Wow.
go. We're talking about money and
Yes.
profits today, but I've been thinking about it for years. In fact, I've always wanted to have a magazine since I was
Wow.
17.
Wow.
It was a Christian magazine then.
Wow.
I thought about it and I was calling it Divine then.
Wow.
So publishing has always been what
Being
I've
in
wanted
your
to
spirit.
do.
Wow.
You know, but imagine how long it took me
to realize
before to the
it,
point where
yes.
I'm now publishing, you know,
Wow.
my magazine. So that's what it will take for everybody. If the fact that it doesn't happen immediately, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. But you might need to go through, you know,
different
yes,
turns and turns
to prepare you
experience,
for
training. Wow. You know, my pastor always talks about purpose, you know, discovering your purpose in life, what God, you know, has proposed for your life, what you're supposed to do in reaching your world, how you're supposed to live your life in such a way or do things in such a way that, you know, other lives are being influenced, impacted, you know, other lives are being helped. And in the area of carrying out our various purposes in life, Pastor told us that, you know, it's important to discover God's design for your life. Because when you were talking, you said that there are people who say, oh, you know, so-and-so is in this business, so-and-so is doing this. You know, that's the in thing. They go in here, they go out, you know, in and out, in and out. You got to have a design, you see, because you can't always want to copy the design of other people's lives to be able to, you know, accomplish things in your own life. And only God can give you, God's word can give you that design. We're going to take a break on that thought. We'll be right back.